Isaiah chapter 54 and verse 15. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. Whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. This lesson come, is a story out of Houston where you had a New Year's Eve party where some Jakes pretty much got put to death. Now it was told, and it was a warning that went out from brothers that you need to stay away from these damn New Year's celebrations and festivities, along with the rest of these pagan holidays, man, because it's demons and it's demonic all in it. But Jake ain't gonna listen. He's not gonna want to take heed. So this is the result of that, man. And pretty much, if you remember last year, New Year's Eve in I believe that was New Orleans, where that dude, ramped his car down what is it, Bourbon Street in New Orleans, one of the, if not the busiest street in New Orleans, and ran down all those people. This is becoming a norm for this time of year. Demons are active. Judgment is flowing through the earth. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is his wrath is covering the earth. And Jake, he thinks that he can just push that aside and he'll be all right. But no, you can't escape the Lord's judgment, man. So let's get that again. This is Isaiah 54 and 15. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. So you're going to have these parties, these 2026 parties and New Year's Eve parties and turn up parties. And this is out of Houston, Texas, right? It says, whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. So when you gather for these pagan days, this is not of the Lord, man. The Lord ain't got none of the Lord hates these holidays and feast days. It tells you that in Amos 5:21. The Lord hates and despises your feast days. Right? But Jake gonna do it because it's what makes him feel good. So when he gets judged, he can't blame nobody but himself, man. When he's put in the spirit world and he's in his right mind. Right? So the Lord said, if you gather together, against him, you're going to fall, man. You're going to be destroyed. You're going to be judged. So let's play this. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, willing to like be edified. Shalom.
Also, overnight gunshots rang out to start the new year, injuring several people at two short-term rentals in 3rd Ward. Houston police say one scene had over 100 guests, but investigators are struggling to get details. This latest round of violence comes as a new city ordinance targeting short-term rentals goes into effect. Katira Winfrey spoke with concerned neighbors who are trying to stay hopeful.
The firework debris spread outside this short-term rental property near Elgin and Live Oak is symbolic of what was supposed to be a New Year celebration.
I've never seen anything so chaotic.
Tommy Johnson lives across the street and says after midnight, it was hard to distinguish the fireworks from what he later learned included gunshots.
For this to happen at the beginning of the year, it's just, this place just built too, so it's just a bad omen.
Houston police were called to this location 20 minutes into the new year. First responders found a woman with multiple gunshot wounds, a man with one. Several others turned up at a local hospital, also shot.
They just like was popping firecrackers, popping fireworks. I was like, oh my God, these don't sound like fireworks. These sound like bombs.
This type of violence at short-term rental properties is why city councilors approved an ordinance to better hold rental property owners accountable. Michael Dior says partygoers started scattering. Dior says they even had to take cover.
I hit the ground. I seen people bleeding. I seen mace. It was just a lot I seen.
Man, you see what the hell is going on here, man. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, man. Right? But if you at a party and it has anything like this in it, you shouldn't be there, man. But you see Jake, man. Jake is fucking demonic, man. You know? He's very demonic. This is Proverbs 22 and verse 3. It says, a prudent man, meaning a wise man, foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. Right? So a man that is wise, he would know to stay away from these fucking parties with these worldly Jakes, man. Even if Jake is in the world and something just don't feels right, something just don't feel right, a wise Jake would be like, nah, I'm gonna just chill. I'm gonna just play the crib. You know, I don't want nothing to do with nothing that's going on out here. Whether they say I'm too old for it, I done did that already. You know, I got kids, I got family now. I'm chilling. You know, even with that being said, he's sort of wise because he's not partaking in these festivities, man. But it says what? It says, but the simple pass on and are punished. So a nigga, he's gonna go to the party. Yeah, yo, they turning up over there on Oaks Drive, you know what I'm saying? I'm going over there, you know what I mean? I know it's gonna be mad. Me, I need over there, son. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get me something tonight. New Year's too. I got 3 bottles. I'm good. Those be the niggas that pass on and get punished. Right? Let's continue.
Property owners, in part, must now register their property with the city of Houston and pay an annual $275 fee. They also have to undergo training for identifying human trafficking activities, can't promote as special event or party locations, and will be held accountable for noise complaints, disruptive behavior, and criminal activity. While registration was due as of this morning, the city says it will not start to delist non-compliant properties until April 1st. The city expects to see those required short-term rental applications to surge now that we're in the new year. And one man who lives in this community I spoke to says he's trying to remain optimistic, hoping that the ordinance brings stiffer regulations and penalties, because he says something like this just cannot happen again.
I think the ordinance can create some stability, like rules, like something to keep people in check. Because like last night, that was chaos.
Reporting in Houston, Katira Winfrey, KHOU.
And that Jake, he lived right next door. Right? He lived right next door to the spot. So he heard the gunshots. He seen what he describes as chaotic scene. And, you know, Jake tired of it, man. Here it is. You come home, you work hard, you get a decent place to live in, you and your family, and then you got niggas across the street shooting up shit and acting like damn demons. Right? But we ain't in the time of playing and having fun, man. We in the time of judgment, war, destruction, and death. That's the time that we're in. And if you're wise, like I read, then you would foresee the evil. You would know the evil is around and it's coming, and you need to take a step back and walk wisely and think wisely, man. Right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 2. It said, it is better to go into the house of mourning than to go into the house of feasting. For that is the end of all men, man. Yeah, the house of feasting, man. Partying, being merry, having a good old time. That means you got your guard down, man. And every time niggas get together, shit like this happens. Right? It says, for that is the end of all men, and the living will lay it to his heart, man. The living, meaning people that are aware. He's going to look at this and be like, man, listen, man, I'm done with that. I'm done with the club scene. I'm done with the party, the house party scene. I'm done with that. It says, sorrow is better than laughter, for by the sadness of the countenance of Salakia, for by the sadness of the countenance, the heart is made better. Yeah, when you go through something, it humbles you, right? When you are face to face with a life or death situation, and you come out of that, you're supposed to get wiser, man. You're supposed to move different, right? It says, the heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools, right? But the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, meaning the house of a fool is into the partying and, turning up and, let's do it, for good time's sake and all that. Hey, man, those are fools, man. Those are fucking fools. Right? Let's read that again. Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, meaning him that is humbling himself and that had an epiphany and is through the spirit laying low, right? Because of what he went through. It says, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth, right? So, hey, man, there's not a lot of people that's wise out here. Not a lot. Get this last one. He's gonna shut it down. This is Isaiah chapter 1, right? Don't be like this demon right here, man. Isaiah chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at 18. Because what? We're in the time where the Lord wants us to repent, right? The Lord said this, Isaiah 1:18. It says, come now, let us reason together, saith the Lord. Though thy sins be as scarlet, they shall be white as snow. So the Lord, if you repent, the Lord's gonna wipe out your sin, man. Right? Though they be red like crimson, they shall be as wool. If ye be willing and obedient, ye shall eat the good of the land. So if you hear the warning and reason with the Lord and repent and turn from thy ways, the Lord said, right, you're going to eat the good of the land, man. You're going to have abundance. But what? It said, but if you refuse and rebel, ye shall be devoured with the sword, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken it. So that's the ladder that Jake rather to go. He don't want to go up. He want to go back down. Right? He want to stay in sin. So you're gonna be devoured with the sword, man. And hey, it makes us no difference because you niggas, you done got the warning, man. Right? And in Houston, there's a huge, AIDS, STD epidemic going on out there, man. Where Jake just freaking off and spreading it crazy, man, like wildfire. The Lord is judging our people, man. The Lord gonna get rid of 2/3 of our people because they're gonna rather stay in sin and be damn demons. And whatever, we did our part. So I'm gonna leave it right there. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua willing the elect was other Father. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushua, Bahashem Rakakadash for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Don't sound like fireworks. These sound like bombs.
This type of violence at short-term rental properties is why city councilors approved an ordinance to better hold rental property owners accountable. Michael Dior says partygoers started scattering. Dior says they even had to take cover.
I hit the ground. I seen people bleeding. I seen mace. It was just a lot I seen.